as you may have seen from the Facebook page, we are going to be partnering with Chingons Tacos, one of the best places to grab tacos in town.
Hey, hold on. What is
Okay.
Chingons? You
Chingons.
said Chingons. You said Chingons.
Wait, how you expect? Why?
It's Chingons Tacos.
How do you
Yeah.
expect that?
Well, I mean, I've dated plenty of Hispanic women in my life, so you know,
Okay.
I know what you're doing. Yeah, it's Chingons Tacos.
Chingons. Okay, well, we're partnering with Chingons here, and they are going to be doing a little project with us, kind of getting you guys maybe share the page a little bit more, and all that good stuff. Well, we are going to be giving away. And we'll figure out how we're going to do it. Yeah, I still got to bounce some ideas off of Ogans, but we have two $25 meal vouchers to give away through the Putnam Beat Facebook page. So we will be working on that. And in the meantime, again, go down there, get yourself some good tacos, Mexican food, awesome, authentic stuff, tortas, all that good stuff, burritos. But they also have really cool meals. Like if you're going on the low carb lifestyle, they have cheese tortillas completely made out of cheese, no carbs. Can really grub down those, I'm telling you. Or they have hot Cheeto tortillas, which are like tortillas completely made out of hot Cheetos. I don't know how they do it, but their food is really good. It has a lot of really interesting spins on traditional dishes. So, you know, get down there. You're going to get your tacos on Tuesday.
Who's the owner of Chingons Tacos?
That would be Isaiah, good friend of mine.
Okay.
Nice guy. Very good family man.
Him and if you're watching.
A lot of the time they travel and they go to a lot of restaurants, you know, to try out and get new ideas, and they kind of bring that back with them to Porterville. So, you know, you get a little bit of taste of the whole state if you eat there. It's really good food. So go down and support them. Great people. And yeah, we're excited to have a partner. You know, it's our first time we got to do something like this. So, you know, we're going to make the best of it. And yeah, I think it'll be awesome to have, you know, help support a local business.
You know what I think? It's always good. Like I've said many times on this podcast, that it's good to support local businesses. And if we can partner with local businesses and get, you know, we can help, you know, get the word out. They get the word out about us, and we can help each other out. It's always a good, you know what I mean? You can benefit from each other. And also with like that, who, I mean, I've never been, but I do know a lot of people that eat there, and they say it's really good Mexican food. So.
Yeah, they have a great social media presence too. They're always posting up stuff, and yeah. So if you want to go to their page, follow them. Tag them in the most recent post. And if you get to the place and you're not sure, is this the right one? There's actually a lovely Putnam Beat poster right there on the door, and it can tell you all of the spots where you can find our podcast at. You know, most recently, and we're trying to get on new platforms every day. I know there was a listener that mentioned Stitcher as a platform that we should look into. So, you know, we're going to definitely do that. We are liking the video stuff too. So we're going to try to keep that going on Facebook Watch as well. And, you know, we're up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Well, anyway, let's get back to the news here. We're getting to some local stories. You know, we always like to kick off the Putnam Beat. We're going to talk a little bit about our neighboring city over in Tulare, great town. You know, I worked there, can't complain. We had Carlton Jones on in the past, who had served on the council a few years back. Anyway, we're going to talk about what they're doing in terms of poverty alleviation and how they're really going to be setting the standard for what this county does going forward. That's because the Tulare Lighthouse Rescue Mission is in a partnership with the city of Tulare to bring 288 square foot homes to the community, creating a village that expects to house at least 16 homeless people by the end of the month. And this is going to be over on H Street. This is where they're putting the first one. The overseer of the project, David Clevenger, he remarked that his faith is the biggest driver and stated that his direction for addressing poverty is made pretty clear as a Christian, and echoing the parts of the gospel that call us to love our neighbors as ourselves.
Is Tulare have a very high homelessness rate? A very high poverty rate? Okay.
Definitely does.
I'm pretty sure this whole area, you know, Central Valley, you know, kind of have a high homelessness rate. Okay, so that's amazing. So they're gonna basically have a lot where they're gonna build homes for the homeless. And do the homeless have to pay for these, or? No,
these are gonna be completely free, completely they might have to follow like a certain guideline to stay in the area.
So where do they go to sign up? Is there an application process? Do they have to sign up for it? How does it work? Do you have any information about that?
Right. I didn't actually get any information on that end of how to sign up. I know that what they're talking is getting 16 people in there by the end of this month. And this is just the first project. It's over on 8th Street. And they plan to have a few more. What the owner is calling these is pocket villages. So he's wanting to put these in around the city. And in Tulare, actually, there's a lot of areas.
Oh, so they're going to do it in different areas of the city.
Basically. Right.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. And a lot of different homeless encampments in Tulare. A lot of the walking trails, for example, if you try to go down them, there's just a lot of tents, a lot of young people, a lot of people that are just down on their luck that, they're homeless and they're dealing with that. So this guy, Dave Clevenger, he kind of set this ball into motion, leading the Tulare Lighthouse Rescue Mission. And eventually the city of Tulare saw what they were trying to do. And they had actually gotten a grant from the federal government to tackle homelessness. So they're putting forth an $80,000 grant, giving this to the Tulare Lighthouse Rescue Mission to help with the cost of getting some housing going and getting a few more of these pocket villages up off the ground. They didn't have a time frame for how long it's going to take to install all of these villages, but again, they're moving to put people in homes as they build. So they have 16 spots that they're hoping to fill by the end of the month. And I would imagine you could reach out to the Tulare Lighthouse Rescue Mission and kind of get more information on how to apply or how to get into one of these homes or how to help somebody. There's a lot of good talk coming from this. So proponents are also saying that this will help law enforcement and homeless people facilitate better relationships with each other. Because right now, what you're seeing a lot of is there's a lot of confrontations there. There's a lot of limitations that the police have on how much they can actually do about homeless people in public, because the federal courts have mandated that we cannot remove encampments in public places. So instead of being in a public place where, there's not necessarily any shelter or anything like that, they can actually go to these homes, these little pocket villages, and be able to stay, have some dignity and be able to stay in a home. It's looking at 288 square feet. Yeah, that's pretty good for, just having a little house for you. And I would imagine that's a lot better than the street. So it's pretty amazing that they were able to accomplish that. And
I'm just curious how they're gonna divvy it up. I'm guessing it's gonna be first come, first serve. Hey, I'm just curious how they're gonna make all the inner workings to make this happen. I know they can build the houses, but who gets it? Who's gonna live? You know what I mean? I'm curious to know how they're gonna do all that, because it's a great idea. But sure. Are they gonna go down there and be like, hey, we have houses for you guys? Hey, what are they gonna do? To get
right
out, and how are they gonna make sure each homeless person can have their own house? How many people can be in it? It's a great idea, but I'm just curious about how all the inner workings are gonna play out.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of spots there that they're gonna have to work out. But I think getting that. Getting the ball rolling on something, getting homes out there for people to be able to stay in, that's all positive.
I had to turn my fan off. Did you hear my fan?
No, I think it was good.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to turn it off. Okay, but yeah, so I think that'll be good for the homeless. Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Oh yeah, definitely, and yeah. So hopefully we can see more of those projects.
And who did you say was the one that was getting the ball rolling on it?
Oh, so that was going to be Dave Clevenger. He's the one starting.
Is that the one that does Clevenger the auto car dealership?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I just know that he is the current overseer of the project, and he's the one that's in charge of the Tulare Lighthouse Rescue Mission right now. And again, a Christian man, apparently he's talking about how his faith is what drives him to do.
Hello?
Okay.
Sorry about that, folks. We had some technical difficulties. We are back now. We were talking about Dave Clevenger and how he wants to start the initiative to build these homes for the homeless. If you want to look him up, he has a Facebook, he has a LinkedIn, he has a Venmo, and he has YouTube. DaveClevenger.com is his website. He's a CEO and he's a house developer, and he wants to inspire people to level up. I created opportunities for people who are inspired to level up. That's his slogan. I like it, Dave. Hopefully we can get him on the show so he can talk more about this, because I'm more interested about how are we going to make this happen. I know building the homes, that's the easy part, but how are we going to filter these veterans in? I'm not veterans. That's where my brain's at. Homeless veterans, which we need to do better by as a country. I'm just saying. But homelessness and how we could get these homeless in the houses, who's going to be there, how many people can stay in the house, things of that nature. And gotta make sure, make sure they have a yard for the dog, because, most homeless have dogs, because, so yes, so that would be very great. So hopefully we can get him on the show for that.
Yeah, definitely would love to sit down and talk with him, and I think it's a great project that he's doing.
Exactly.
Yep. Next up, we do have, this is a story that we covered before on the program. We're talking about the passing of two local heroes.
Yes, we covered it many times. Yes.
Right, and Captain Raymond Figueroa, they both lost their lives when the Porterville Library went up in flames. And we do have a bit of a heartwarming update here. Thanks to efforts made by State Senator Melissa Hurtado, a portion of Porterville's Highway 65 will be renamed to honor the firefighters, which is a huge thing. I mean, that's great for their families.
They need to rebuild the library and name it after them too.
Oh yeah, oh no, yeah, definitely. So I was going to say this is a remarkable accomplishment, and a props to State Senator Hurtado for getting things done for her community. I mean, there's another state rep that we don't have to mention, and he would rather complain on Facebook than get things done for his community. I can think of some additional ways to honor them, though. Things I was thinking.
Hold on, wait. Wait. Who are you talking about?
Oh, he knows who he is.
But, okay. All right. Okay. You know what? Hey. Protect the brand, I guess. Protect the brand. We can't be allegedly. No, because when you got to say allegedly so you don't get sued. That's the word that I say when it's like, oh, allegedly. Okay, got you.
Right. Well, I can definitely think of other ways to honor them, though. That would be a lot more.
I would love for them to rebuild the library and name it after them. I think that'd be, and then rename it after them, and then have like a wing. No, if you named the library, whole library, okay, you wouldn't need a wing, but I'm just saying, I don't know, something, maybe have like a firefighter day where the firefighters come and the kids got like, how you do in school, but for the library, because it's named after them. And you have the kids come on a summer day and they get to shoot the hose. I don't know, just, little things like that. They get to paint the picture of a firefighter. And I think that would be great. Something like that to honor them, because man, these guys lost their lives, bro. 2 kids acting stupid, burned down the library.
Yep.
Like, it made national news. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, they burned down the library.
Yeah, no, I think definitely.
Like, WTF? Like, for real? The whole library? Like, it boggles my mind, man. It just boggles my mind.
And that's huge, right? That would be huge, to rebuild the library and name it after them in their honor. That would be.
No, the highway's cool. I'm just saying I would love for the library to be named after them. That's just what I think should happen.
Definitely. But I mean, I was thinking too, we could establish a scholarship in their name at Porterville College, so that other people that want to go into the fire academy and make the same lines of sacrifice, maybe they'll have an opportunity to get their education paid for in the name of people that laid it down.
Credit, bro. Like, we give cops credit, which we should, but firefighters, we got to give them credit too, man. It's a fire. That is blazing. It's hot. Like, and they got to go in there with all that gear on, find people, rescue people, put out the fire. Beams are fall. Like, I honestly feel like firefighters don't get enough credit. I really don't. But they risk their lives just as much as police officers, as they don't get enough credit. I've always felt like that,
Yeah, and this is literally,
I feel like are the redheaded stepchild. For real. Like, I just feel like they need more credit. But sorry, continue.
No, I definitely, and again, setting up a scholarship in their name for the Porterville College Fire Academy, I think that would be a great way to go to honor their memory as well. This is really the least that the city could do, considering the negligence on their part with the city library. I mean, you got to think this library had hundreds of kids, almost every day.
Of course. Yeah.
And they never at one point thought that maybe they should update the infrastructure for public buildings in that library, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, today, build a building like that, you've got to have fire infrastructure. You have to have sprinklers put in place. It's a state law. You have to. It's mandated, right? The city of Porterville never at any time had felt that the kids' lives were worth installing sprinklers. I'd imagine they never put in those modern infrastructure changes. They never even tried. They never went after any grants for it. And again, I mean, people don't want to hear this, but ultimately what would have made the city fire department's job a lot easier is if they had sprinklers in place in the library. I mean, if
wait a minute. I'm listening. Okay. I guess I got lost in the sauce. You mean to tell me they didn't update? I know they didn't update the building, but they didn't have sprinkler systems. They should have updated the building. The building's been the same since 1950 or however, whatever it was.
Had some changes, but they never installed sprinklers. They never installed any fire infrastructure that could have, I don't know if I don't want to say prevented the fire, but it could have slowed the spread and made the fire.
Slowed it.
Yeah.
It could have slowed it. It could have, every little bit that could have helped would have helped. And you mean to tell me that, man, I never do that.
Yeah, I guess
that irritates me now.
Yeah.
Stupidity of those two kids, the dumbassness of those two kids, and the fact that they didn't have the building, I wouldn't say up to code because it was up to code, it's still open, but they didn't do the little small things that could have slowed the fire down. You're
right.
kidding me. Did they have a fire extinguisher in that bitch?
I'm sure they had a fire extinguisher.
Did they have a fire extinguisher in there?
The way that they got around the sprinklers was just the fact that even though modern buildings, when you build them, they are required by state law to have it. Old buildings apparently
they don't because they that law where it goes, if you're built after this and this, you need to have blah 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 blah. But if you're built before this, you don't need it. It's the same with a lot of things in life. So yeah.
Right. So that was their excuse for it. But ultimately, you had so many kids going in there every day. You had so many people. It's just common sense that you would want to install a sprinkler system, but the city decided, as they often do, to choose the path of negligence instead.
Yes.
It may have cost these two firefighters their lives. So it's really the least we could do. Eventually we will rebuild the library, right? And eventually that will get off the ground. And obviously when we do, we need to make sure it has all this fire infrastructure in place. That's literally the least we can do. That if some kid is playing with a lighter in the library again, it's not going to cost us our library for the entire team, right? Yeah, another area that they could have done better at is had hired more library staff, because that was an area that often had to fight for funding, and they just didn't have the resources. They didn't have access to the staff needed to monitor all these kids, to look after people. I mean, a lot of these kids weren't with their parents. They were just hanging out, that kind of thing, which is totally fine. We don't want to say that all kids are going to do stuff like this, but just having adults present and having, hanging out around the computers, wherever, that's going to go a long way in the future. So I would say that when we are looking at our library, funding it more is, again, something that we could do, have more staff, more boots on the ground, as they would say. And, ultimately, maybe we can prevent stuff like this from even happening. And hopefully. So, I mean, that's the idea anyway. But again, props up to Senator Melissa Hurtado. She is taking steps to get things done for her community. And that's more than can be said for most politicians. So
yes,
that's huge. And, hopefully the city of Porterville does better, because I think we deserve better ultimately. Yep. So we'll see what the future holds in that regard. But yes, a portion of Porterville's Highway 65 will be named after these two brave heroes that lost their lives to put out the fire. And ultimately, I think that is I would call that a good day to get that done. So
the win.
Definitely. All right. Of course, we got to jump into national stories here. And one of the biggest stories we have pertains to President Biden and what he's been calling for. So Joe Biden is calling for all Afghanistan deployed soldiers, U.S. soldiers, to be removed by 9/11/2021. He's giving that date. Now I was talking about why would you choose 9/11?
I mean, I get why he's choosing that date. I get it. It's 9/11. This is what it all started on that day. So he wants it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Why would he choose it? I mean, it's kind of stupid, but I mean, I get why he's doing it, but I just don't think that date. I get why he's doing it, but I just think that date is kind of like, why would you use that date? It's like, because it's a day of tragedy. You know what I mean? So why would you want to use that day? But I get why he's doing it, because that's when it all started. So yeah.
Kind of the closing of the chapter, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Which a long chapter, by the way.
Which, and 20 years.
20 years.
Legit 20 years. Yeah.
Yep. So this is the longest war that that America has ever been in. This is again kicked off by 9/11. We actually went to war in October of 2001. That's when everything started. And since then, it's claimed an estimated 2,306 service members in Afghanistan alone. Not talking about the total war on terror.
I was about to say that's it. I thought it would have been a lot more.
No, and then another 20,000 were wounded in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Definitely, and people have called it a forever war.
It's crazy because I'm like, it's crazy because like, why are we still there? You know what I mean? Like, why are we still there? I've always wondered that. And sometimes you forget, like, I'm pretty sure there's people now that, 20 years, man, 20. Somebody's 20 right now. When the war started, they were born. Or they were a child. And now it's like, oh man, I was 14, 15 when the war started. Oh my gosh.
I was just a kid.
Wow, yes. Wild. Over there, myself being scared to like, oh crap, they're gonna draft me. But yeah, this is crazy, man. It's crazy. But continue. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. So I mean, this is something to note. The past two presidential administrations, Trump and Obama, they both had set out to end the war in Afghanistan. They said that was something they wanted to do, was bring all the troops back home. That we weren't really.
And they never did.
They never were able to get it done. Joe Biden says he's going to get it done by 9/11, and they actually he already has been in contact with NATO, and NATO is going to be removing 7,000 joint forces in Afghanistan by May 1st. So they're already starting to bring some people back home. And you know, this was actually a goal set by the Trump administration if they were to get a second term too. They said by May 1st they were going to take everybody out. So I mean, Biden's at least starting it by May 1st, and he says by 9/11. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But I mean, Joe said he put it this way, that he is the fourth president to preside over this war. He said 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. He's not going to be passing it to a fifth, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
His remarks have drawn support from across the political spectrum. You have people like libertarian-leaning Republicans like Ron Paul, old school, not even Rand Paul. Ron Paul. He applauded this and said that
Ron is the father, right?
Right. Yeah. He's a longtime senator. You know, optometrist, same dude.
Wait. So Ron was the doctor just like his. I mean, I know Rand was his son, but Ron was a doctor too. I never knew that. I knew he was a senator, but I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was a doctor as well. Because I knew Rand was. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Anyway,
doctors make terrible politicians. So I'm just Ben Carson, Rand Paul, Ron Paul. They're all terrible. So, but anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah. So you have again, he had Scott from Ron Paul saying, and Ron Paul has been saying this for a long time, that basically, you know, there's no point in us being there. The second that we leave, things are just going to go back. So any progress that we make that was his argument even before the war had started. But so you have the libertarians kind of giving him props for this. You also have really left-leaning people in his party, the people that don't.
But everybody should be giving him props though, because we shouldn't be there anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I see. Like, honestly, what are we still doing over there? Can somebody give me a good reason why we're still over there?
Well, their argument is that if you if you leave, then you're just going to be letting Al Qaeda move in, the Taliban move in. They're going to be just business as usual.
How the fuck is that our problem? Like, real talk. I know America wants to be the freaking white savior and the white Jesus and all this stuff, but come on, let's be real though. Like, that's their problem.
A lot of the messed up parts about the Middle East are because of the U.S. though. During the Cold War, we moved in there.
A lot of this world is by the U.S. being messed up. Let's be real. A lot of it has to do with the U.S. being messed up and doing stupid, dumb stuff.
I mean, we were selling arms to the terrorists and the government.
Yes. We were selling arms to Bin Laden. But I'm just saying, like, oh man, we got so many problems over here that we need to take care of. We don't need to be worrying about the Middle East. I get it. We want to be the savior. But at the end of the day, that's their problem.
And folks, this is coming from a veteran. Just throwing that out there.
Come on, people, common sense. Like, it's their problem. Like, why we gotta? I'm not like we have enough as a Black American, as a veteran. We have enough as a veteran there's millions of homeless, not millions, but thousands of homeless veterans that should always be protected, should always have a place to stay, should never be on the streets. As a Black man who's scared of the police, legit scared of the police, because I don't know what's gonna happen when I walk out the door. I drive to Bakersfield, an hour there, hour back. Bakersfield, most conservative city, pretty racist, but I don't know what's gonna happen there. I'm scared when I'm there, and I'm like, oh, every time I see a cop, I'm scared. So we got enough problems over here. So let's withdraw these troops from Afghanistan who are getting killed for no damn reason, and bring them the fuck home. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure.
Bring them home. Like, damn.
Yeah. So yeah, again, on the right and left, a lot of people are supporting. Like exactly what you're saying, common sense, bring these guys home. There's no reason for us.
There's no reason that they should. I'm sitting here like when you said that, I'm like, wait, we still have troops in Afghanistan?
Right. But not.
I thought because we were supposed to be, ever since Obama, we're supposed to be pulling these people back. So I'm thinking, oh, we probably don't have no troops there anymore. And then you tell me, oh, we still got them there? It just boggles my mind, man.
If I
decency, man. Come
correctly, on. I believe we currently have about 30,000 troops there right now.
Bring them home. Bring them
home. Yeah. But not everyone feels that way though. I mean, you have people like Senator Lindsey Graham. He's rebuking Biden for this, and he's saying that this is going to cause inevitable instability within the region. I mean, because the region is so stable right now, right? That's why we're there.
Even when we were there, it's still unstable.
Yeah. Currently,
you haven't set up a government. You haven't set up it's still unstable.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
I'm to go cry to his boyfriend about. Tell Lindsey. Tell Lindsey Graham that he needs to calm down, and that the country it's already unstable. Regardless if we're there or not, it's still going to be unstable.
Well, I think if Lindsey Graham feels so strongly about going to war with Afghanistan, maybe it should be him on the ground instead of
exactly.
It's always these rich guys that send the poor kids to war.
Mm-hmm.
Always
that. What song is it that that you told me about? That it was a rock group that sang a song about the older white guy, or the old always send the young, or the rich always sending the poor to fight the war.
Yeah. I was thinking that was John Lennon, actually.
Was it John Lennon? I could have sworn you told me it was another band that actually sang a song about it. I just can't remember. You did tell me that one time, though.
Right, I'm sure I did. It could have been the Clash. Actually.
No, I think it might have been them. But yeah, I remember hearing it. Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like I just don't like it's like, oh, we still need to stay there, blah, blah. Well, then take your ass over there. It's always the peak. Like, did Lindsey Graham serve in the military? No, he did not, right? He didn't, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
Tell people how to, yeah. He's like a sports analyst that never played the game. Just want to be telling people what they're doing wrong. So
hate that. Yeah. Yep. By the way, Jonathan is live from Lake Success right now. It looks beautiful this time of year, right?
I'm here with the sun, the palm trees. I'm living life. You know what I mean? Just enjoying it, people. Just enjoying life. Thank you. Wow.
There he is. All right, next up, still sticking with the national news here. In South Korea, the Earth's two largest contributors in carbon emissions, they're getting together for a agreement on curbing pollution and its practices. So after 2 days of what John Kerry calls intense negotiations, John Kerry, the current Secretary of State, by the way, I guess use his title. Now he has said that he's pleased to announce that the two countries are going to be coming together to tackle the climate crisis.
Who did you say right now?
John Kerry.
That is a name I have not heard in a long time.
He's kind of behind.
I have a soft spot for John Kerry, and I'm gonna tell you why. That was the first man ever. That was the first time I ever voted, and I voted for John Kerry. So I have a soft spot for John Kerry. I just wanted to throw it out there. I mean, I don't know, but I have a soft spot for John Kerry. So every time I hear his name, I'm like, John. But yeah, so yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's, well, you know.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing well. He kind of went from getting against
he went very obscure, huh? He just kind of faded in the background.
Yeah, well, I mean that.
I was gonna say, I guess that's what you do when you're a political opponent. If you lose, you fade in the background, but not everybody. Mitt Romney didn't fade. Hillary didn't fade. You know, but I'm saying like he kind of just faded and kind of just, you know, even the other who's the other John? Who's the other John that turned that? Who's the other John that he ran with? John. It was John Kerry and then John
Edwards.
Yes, yeah. He didn't fade, but John Kerry kind of just faded a little bit, huh?
I think he kind of went to the diplomacy side of it. Kind of got more into the.
And he was a veteran, right?
Huh?
He was a veteran, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and now he's a Secretary of State. He served as Secretary of State under Obama as well.
Yeah, I knew that. But yeah, he kind of just faded a little bit. So you kind of he'll pop up here and there. You mentioned him a few times on the show. He'll pop up here and there, but it's kind of like he just kind of fades away. But
yeah,
I have a soft spot for him because that's my guy.
Right.
I wrote him. He lost, but it's okay.
Yeah, on the new neoliberal side, he's kind of what you would equate to Henry Kissinger now. He's the guy that's making all the deals, having all the backroom meetings, but he's not the one that gets the recognition, right? It's going to be the president that ultimately gets.
You know, which I thought was interesting because a lot of Republicans thought he was like kind of a pussy. And I'm thinking to myself, like, but this man went to war and your guy, Bush, didn't go to war because he was rich and scared. But it's always funny to me. Republicans always try to be moving the goalposts, don't they? It's funny.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, continue. Go ahead. So what did he say? He said that, what was it?
So that they're coming together on the climate crisis with the seriousness and urgency that it demands. Well, China has been the largest polluter in the world. The U.S. isn't too far behind them. So China contributed 33% of the world's carbon emissions on their own. The U.S. accounts for 13% of the world's carbon emissions. So, we're still 20% behind them. But I mean, if you look at the entire world, we're the top two contributors to climate change, to global warming, right? So they're talking about coming together, and this announcement was made with very few commitments. So there's nothing that they really said that they're going to do that they laid out. But what's actually going to be happening next week is President Biden is going to be hosting a climate crisis summit. Mm-hmm. And he's invited all the countries, and he's wanting China to take a leadership role on this too. So what he's saying is maybe China and the US can't come together on X, Y, and Z, but maybe on this environment issue, this is where we can they
can come together and work together. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be kicking off next week on Earth Day. And so President Xi of China, he feels kind of lukewarm about this whole thing. What he's saying that it's going to be hard for him to commit to a country of 1.1 billion following a climate goal of any kind. Mm-hmm. And many experts believe that his tone kind of changed along with the Trump administration, because what we saw under President Trump, we saw the US walk away from the Paris Agreement, from a lot of these climate related environmental issues and deals.
Okay.
Yeah. and the US's role in climate policy was about as fleeting as Trump's hairline was. I mean, it, you know, what seems to be happening is Obama signs a climate agreement, Trump rolls it back, Biden gets back in there, he signs it again. So it's like you keep going back and forth, no progress can ever be made. I think what ultimately needs to happen is we need to stop making this a partisan issue, because if it stays a political issue, then when I don't know, President Tucker Carlson, when he gets in there someday, he's going to be all of the
angry frat boy
progress, right?
You know what? I shouldn't be mad at Tucker because he took some stance that I actually agree with. He's actually kind of fought back on certain things, certain issues. I'm like, okay, Tucker, I see, but he's still a drunken frat boy. He reminds me of a frat boy. He gets on my nerves.
Corporations. He said corporations need to be taxed more and stuff like that. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things where he said, or I'm like, okay, I mess with you, but you're still an idiot and a frat boy.
I like to think those are the moments where he's had like a Keystone Light and he's, relaxed a little bit and he's
right. Did you say a Keystone?
Yeah, Keystone.
You talking about the drink?
Yeah, the Keystone.
Tucker's that poor. We gotta have a Keystone. He never forgets his roots, right? He never forgets his roots, though. He looked like he's born in the trailer park.
He could be a Scotch guy. I don't know.
Keystone Scotch.
What do they drink in college these days? Modelo? I don't know.
You know what? I don't. No, it's not. I mean, these college kids now are spoiled, so they get the highest price ritzy stuff. Modelo. They drink the Stella Artois.
Oh, okay.
And the Heinekens.
The Heinekens. Yeah, I like Heineken. Yeah, that's good. Put a lime in it. It's pretty good. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so yeah, I think again, stop making science a political issue. With whether it's the environment, coronavirus, whatever it is, it's not. It's science.
I would say it's interesting that science is a political issue. Like, we're supposed to listen to scientists. Like, they study this stuff. Like, and then when people are like, oh, blah blah blah, like, I'm not gonna listen to him because of that. I'm like, really? He's a scientist. I just don't get why we make it political. Both sides should listen to scientists because they're the ones that do years of research on these things and they study these things. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, definitely we'll see what happens there with the environmental agreements. I'm not, super pumped about it because ultimately, again, it doesn't hold that much weight when the next guy can just come in and rip up the agreement. I think we're going to have to start looking to our Congress to kind of build up environmental protections, maybe to these big businesses. Instead of continuing to subsidize oil, we subsidize green energy instead. And, taking these kinds of steps in our own country, I think that will be a better indication to the rest of the world. Oh, the US is on it now. Okay, time to get going,
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll kind of see that rollout. But anyway, that's all I really got for national. So Ogans, what do you got?
Oh, we're not. Oh, I was gonna say. So did we talk about Deontay Wright? Did we talk about that story?
We did not mention that. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about that last. We didn't talk about that.
No.
You've seen it. What do you think about it?
Well, I will say one of the points that stuck out to me is that what I had read from the interviews with the officer, he was saying that the kid never put his hands up, that he was resisting arrest, this and that. And then come to find out from the body cam footage, you see him walking out with his hands up, right? Are we talking about the same case?
Oh, wait, no. Deontay Wright is a black kid in Minnesota.
Oh, so you're talking about the traffic stop.
Yes, yeah. Wait, which one were you? God damn. We got to sit here and talk about, and there's probably many more we could talk about. We're getting confused on police shootings that are unjust. Which one were you?
Right.
Can you talk about the Mexican dude, the Mexican cat?
13-year-old. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on to him. We're talking about Deontay Wright, the traffic stop.
Okay. You're talking about the traffic stop. So this is what you can tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I heard from.
Give me everything that you feel. Give me everything that you got, and this is what we do. This is what we do because we learn from each other and we sit there and educate the people. So go ahead.
So traffic stop, right? And he gets pulled over because he has an air freshener in the mirror hanging. Yeah. That's what I heard.
Which reminds me, I need to take my air freshener off my mirror. I actually have one.
I don't know the laws, but yeah, I do too. It's never been an issue for me.
Okay. Well, when it becomes an issue for me, and I make it out alive, I'm gonna come to you and be like, motherfucker, you have an air freshener, I have an air freshener, I got pulled over today. So
Yep, I know. See,
if I do get shot, I need you to pull your air freshener up and be like, hey, I got one in my car. I pass the cops all the time.
Yeah.
And you gotta have my back in the end. You gotta have my back at the end. And don't just do the whole, he was such a cool guy. No, you'd be like, he was a badass motherfucker who loved life, loved everybody, and wanted the best for people, and was fucking that dude, and you killed him over some motherfucking bullshit. That's what I want you to say, okay? All right, continue. Go ahead. So what do you think?
All right, so okay. First of all, terrible law. It shouldn't even be a law. Who cares about the air freshener, right? It doesn't make sense in the slightest. But okay, that's the probable cause. And then they find out that this kid has an outstanding warrant. Okay, he has an outstanding warrant. Fine.
What was it for?
So I did not hear. What I had heard originally was that it was for not showing up in court for some kind of fine.
Okay.
And then what I had heard further is that this gentleman's address that the courthouse had was incorrect. So even if they sent him a letter,
he did not get it.
Right. So okay, again, and now this guy, he gets pulled over. The officer is threatening to arrest, this and that, or has him detained, I guess you would say, and he tries to escape. Right, he tries to flee, gets back in his car, and the officer says that she, which by the way, a 26-year veteran in the force, just throwing that out there first, she says, "I'm going to tase you," and she pulls out her taser, which is actually a gun, and shoots him. Apparently, she forgot where her gun was. I don't think that happens to a 26-year-old police force veteran. See, the first, and you can tell these cases annoying because you get a lot of misinformation right away. I actually had Matthew Nanamura, who we have had on the show. Cool guy all around. He's got some hot takes on his own.
Matthew's dope. Matthew, if you see this, you're dope. But some of your takes I do have to push back on. But but like at the end of the day, we can have a conversation and then we can go on and have a beer. So.
Right, yeah, good guy, and he loves salsa and beer, so I mean, he's good people. But he had said on my post, "What do you mean a 26-year-old veteran? This was a rookie cop." And I was like, "No, it wasn't. Look at this.
She was 26 years on the force."
Yeah, it's like, look at this. No, she wasn't, and it's just so sad because when you have this happen, you see these crowds rush and make every possible excuse imaginable for the death. They don't show the same remorse for the person that died, though, which is interesting. They don't have the same excuses. But so this guy, he ends up getting shot instead, and they claim it was a mistake. Now, this 26-year-old police veteran, I did some digging into her, and she was actually the president of the police union.
Yeah, she's the president of the police union, and right. She, like I said, 26 years on the force, president of the police union. She's been doing it for a long time. She tried to resign, but the mayor didn't want to take her resignation. I think it's the mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor didn't want to take her resignation. She did try to resign though, and because she wanted to resign, get her pension and all that. But the mayor said, no, "I'm not taking your resignation. No, like
she got a second-degree charge." So
my thing of it is, I think what needs to happen is police need to have more training. We've been saying that they need to have more training, longer training. I honestly, and I've said this many times, that I think the police need to go in these communities that they're policing. I've seen where cops have made a social following on IG or whatever, Facebook, whatever, policing the communities that they're in and being able to talk to these people. I think what it's going to take a long time, but so many years of the police distrust by these communities. So when Adante Wright sees the cops, get scared and runs, he's going to run. Okay. He's scared of the cops. It's one of those things. And then white people were quick to say, well, they should have been taught to not hate cops. They should have been instilled that cops are there to help. But history has shown us that that's not the case, sir, Mr. White Man. So it's a little different. I asked you one time, I talked about my homeboy, my Mexican tattoo artist. And I was like, did you have the talk? He said, yeah, my parents gave me the talk. And I said, I asked my co-host that I do a podcast with, Austin, I said, did your parents have the talk? And he said, what talk? He didn't know what I was talking about. He didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, I told him I had the talk because every Black parent has to have the talk with their child about the police because of all the years that I can't sit there and tell my daughter, oh, the police are blah, blah, blah. Good. My daughter sees stuff. She watches things. Case in point, we go to Applebee's. We're sitting there. We're eating our food, and the waitress keeps coming back and asks if we're good, which they do whenever, they do that all the time, right? In every restaurant. You know what my daughter tells me? Hey, Dad, why does she keep asking us if we're good? I say, oh, she just wants to know if we're good because we may need something, honey. That's just how they do. He goes, oh, I thought it's because we were black. 9 years old.
Man.
And she has to tell me that? Talking to Winter Soldier when they brought the black Captain America. You know what she tells me? Oh, good. I'm glad they added that in there. She's learning. She's picking up things, man.
Yeah.
So I have to teach her. And so it's easy for a white guy on Facebook with fingers to be like, oh, well, if they just taught them to respect the police and at an early age, this wouldn't be the case. It's different for you than it is for me. You know what I mean? It's different than it is for me. Austin, we have this conversation all the time. It's different for you than it is for me. And so I think in this case, and it's always, oh, he was running away, so I shot him. If he's running away, why are you shooting him? Why? If a man is running away, I'm not going to chase him down and try to fight him. If we're in a fight and he runs away, I'm not going to chase him down and try to fight him. Oh, he's gone. The threat is gone. I'm backing up and getting the hell out of there. Why am I going to sit there? Let him drive away. You have his license plate number.
Yeah, right.
Plate. You know who he is. Let him drive away. You can get him on another day. You can get him on another day. You do not have to shoot him.
This isn't Bonnie and Clyde. They get away.
Hold on. Even if you want to tase him, you can get him at another day. Like, you can get him at another spot. He's a 20-year-old kid. He's probably scared. You can find him at his mama house somewhere. Right? I'm just saying, like, even in South Carolina where they shot what's his face in the back, I forgot the dude's name. They shot at Walter or something. They shot him in the back. You can catch him on another day. They have all the information on the internet, on everything you can find, on your database.
Yeah. Please
catch him on another day. Like, bro, you don't have to kill him.
They have drones now. I mean, they can find you. You know what I mean?
I just don't understand this shit.
Tap to hack your Facebook. They can, there's ways to find a person that you need to find in this century. That's not, and not only that, even if she was going to tase him, you're going to tase someone that's behind the wheel of a car. That makes sense.
Exactly.
I don't know. Obviously, I guess they were saying, the police are afraid too, that you have to consider their feelings.
Afraid of a man that's running away? You're afraid of a man that's... I'm tired of this whole narrative like, oh, their adrenaline's pumping, they're scared, blah, blah, blah. You're scared of a man that is running away. He's driving away.
Yeah.
Walter Scott's his name. He was running away. Tamir Rice had a toy gun and was walking away. They're walking away and you're gonna shoot them. A lot of stories of motherfuckers walking away and you're going to shoot them because they're walking away.
Well, George Floyd already in handcuffs and they needed to put his knee.
Oh yeah, because carbon monoxide. It usually takes 70 hours to get killed from carbon monoxide, but they want to say that was one of the causes of him dying, right there, because he was right next to the exhaust. I'm tired of this. Oh, he had an underlying condition. He had this and this and that. Well, guess what? The underlying condition wouldn't have popped up if a motherfucker did not have his knee on his neck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Common sense, people. God, I'm so sick of people. See, that's why I don't get in these little Facebook debates on like you do. Because it's stupid, it's pointless. Because motherfuckers just want to spout dumb shit.
Hot take.
Listen, man. Y'all better. I hope a lot of people listen to this today. I hope a lot of people listen to this episode. This shit is dumb. Come at me. I'm on Facebook. He'll tag me in it. If you got something to say to me, come say it to me, please. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Okay. So we'll let them know. Let them know, America. No.
Jonathan Ogans, Putnam Beat, established in 2017. I'm right here. Porterville, California / Bakersfield. I'm right here.
Still standing.
Yep. Still standing. But what I'm trying to say is in those incidences, I just don't like how people, listen. And let me preface this by saying I support the troops. I support the cops. I do. Like I said, I just earlier said that firefighters don't get enough credit. I support everything that goes on, but I'm also a black man at the end of the day, and I ain't stupid. So it's BLM for me. It's support the troops, and it's what is it called? Support the blue line, respect the blue line, whatever the cops. Back the blue line. I do that all, but at the end of the day, BLM is first because I'm still a black man at the end of the day. So, but yeah, so. And then the police officer and the military guy, that was an interesting situation as well.
I heard. I've seen
it. Sergeant.
Yeah, I saw something about. I didn't really look into that story.
We'll talk about the next week. Week. Yeah. So basically, so that's basically national news. We will get. You know what? We need to have a special episode where we talk about all the police stuff and we go through we go through the ones and we have a little short set. That's what we need to do. That's what we're gonna do. We'll talk about it later. So
we'll see Anna Murray on. Tell us how we're.
Yeah, exactly. So entertainment news. So now we're gonna go to entertainment news. I just want to ask my co-host about, because it's the guy Kevin Samuel. We all know about what's his name? Derek Jackson. You heard about Derek Jackson, right? I need to put you up on. We'll talk about that later. So Kevin Samuels is a relationship guru who's getting a lot of backlash because how he talks to women that go on the show. He basically tells women, he backs up with facts, and it's mostly black women, about how they want to find a man who's making 6 figures, but they also want this different type of man. They have all these expectations, but they're not fulfilling. So my question was, how do you feel about relationship gurus and those type of people? Like, how do you feel about them? Do you feel like they're legit, or do you feel like they're full of shit, basically?
Well, listen, like I saw Hitch at one point too. I saw Will Smith, he was the kind of love doctor. He could get you with the woman of your dreams, right? He could show you how to be a playa for sure, all that. I don't know that that's real life though. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times what you'll see with these relationship gurus, it's interesting, is a lot of them are single. A lot of them haven't really had successful relationships.
They talk about Kevin Samuels has been divorced 2 times, I think, or 3 times.
Yeah, so see, that's interesting. He's got some divorces behind him. Maybe that's life experience. I mean, we were talking a little bit about how, I could come to you sometimes and say, oh man, I'm dealing with this. What should I do? And you're like, oh man, I've been there, young one, help out. That's possible. I can see that. But these aren't licensed, relationship psychologists. These aren't people that have gone to school for it. These are just people gauging their life experience off of, and giving you advice, which advice is good, but don't take it as a prescription. Don't take it as sound exactly what you're supposed to do, because listen, everyone's life experience is different. I mean, we were just talking about how if the cop's behind you, you might be sweating a little bit. Whereas if a cop's behind me, I'm like, whatever.
Exactly. You're not sweating. Exactly.
Yeah, so everyone has a different life experience. So I don't think that these gurus can necessarily give advice that will work for everyone. Maybe they might work for some people, maybe in some situations, but especially if they've been in failed relationships. The relationships period just take work. They take both parties coming together and wanting to. And when you add too many people in the mix, too many counselors, too many this and that, I don't know that that's helpful in every situation.
Exactly. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all I have. I just wanted to get your take on it. So I guess there's another episode of the Putnam Beat. We'll be back next Sunday with another. We'll be back, but we're also gonna have another segment drop in the middle of the week, possibly. So look forward to that, and we'll be back with our regular episode on Sunday. And hey, I got nothing else. I'm Jonathan Ogans.
I'm Austin Slater. Oh, and be on the lookout for that announcement coming up where you can get a chance to win a $25 gift card to Chingons Tacos. And we will keep that up on the Facebook page. Until then, this has been the Putnam Beat. Peace.